Welcome everyone to Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time.
None of that affects how you are going to change the world.
That's right.
No, it does not take one person to change the world, but it takes one person to believe in themselves.
Yes.
That they can make a difference.
I love
to
that.
Inspire others.
And that's why, for me, I try to make it my purpose now to try to help other people realize their self-worth.
Yeah.
Because it's so sad that so many of us, we get destroyed based off of what other people have to say.
Yeah.
I would say do it in your own way. Make sure you're doing it on your own accord and take a risk.
Go out there and live your life passionately. Believe in everything that you're doing and believe in the fact that you will accomplish every single goal. Welcome everyone to Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to love on your fathers or those father figures that you have in your life. Let's celebrate them and honor them for all of the support, the love, the nurturing, and the guidance that they have provided you. If you're like me and your father is no longer here, let's remember them, all the fond, beautiful memories and times that you guys have spent together. And if you're like some, that you're like, LaShawn, I don't know my father, he ain't never do anything for me, then at least just be grateful for the fact that he created you and that he contributed to the person that you are today. I am your host, LaShawn Walker. I'd like to welcome you in. Please like, share, follow, let everyone know that we're on right now. So how are you, my beautiful people? It's been a week. I miss you, and I know that you've been out celebrating all the wonderful things that is going on this season. We mentioned last week that Juneteenth is coming, and June 15th is when I will be the media host at the Juneteenth event in Elmont. I had the pleasure this past Sunday to meet Dr. Opal Lee, the grandmother of Juneteenth. This amazing woman, 97 years old, and you would think she was 40. This woman, amazing, spoke to the crowd about her passion for making sure that we all just realized that we're free. More importantly, that we're uniting, we're coming together in peace. It was an amazing event to hear her speak, to meet her, to shake her hand, to just soak up all that she had to offer that day. It was just amazing. And it came at the perfect time because, again, we have Juneteenth on the 15th. This woman, she marched from Fort Worth, Texas, all the way to the White House, just so that she can make this a federal holiday. So it is because of her that as of 2021, we are now celebrating not only Juneteenth and our freedom, but the fact that it's a holiday and we get out there and we share it with the world. We let everyone know that it's time for us to be peaceful, for us to unite, for us to come together as one. She spoke of that, especially sharing that with our youth. And I was so impressed with everything that she had to say. And there was a lot of people there, and she shook every single hand. Again, for her to be 97 years old, I was just soaking up every bit of that beauty's life, my friend. So check her out, look her up, get all the information, education that you can on her, and also remember her when you're celebrating on the 19th, why she did it, and why you need to actually educate yourself on the purpose of it. So, as I mentioned, it's a bunch of celebrations going on. We have graduations and all kinds of engagement parties and weddings and things like that coming up. But we also have this Sunday, Father's Day. And I mentioned earlier that my father is no longer here, and it's kind of a bittersweet day for me. I miss my father every single day. I really, really do. He was such a good man, a hardworking man. He did so much for my family to make make sure that we were secure, that we were stable, that we had everything that we needed. He loved my family, my brother and my sister and my mom. He took care of us. He worked so hard to make sure that we even had a thriving and amazing future. It is because of him that I'm on this entrepreneurial journey, because even though my father held a 9 to 5, he was always out there trying to figure out different ways to make this world a better place in some capacity. And he's opened so many businesses that are still sort of like being used. The business model is still being used today. So, you know, on Father's Day, although I honor and celebrate my husband for blessing me with a beautiful daughter, I still find that I'm a little sad sometimes because I'm not able to share with my father how much he's impacted my life and what he's done for me, and the things that I've just grown to love and enjoy about myself because of the fact that he instilled it in me. So if you have a father figure, someone out there that has impacted your life greatly, please celebrate them. Give them that honor and that praise. Love on them. Let them know that you are so happy to have them in your life, because I'm telling you, you could have been so many different places. You could have had so many things happen to you. But for the love of your father, you're an amazing person, thriving, growing, and sharing that hopefully with your children and your grandchildren. So that's what we're going to talk about today. The challenges, the hardships, the struggles, all of that fathers go through with an amazing man. This man I just recently met, actually, and he is, oh my God, I call him movie star Mike. And he's an amazing father as well, who has gone through some things in his life, and he wants to share with us the importance of being a stand-up guy, a father in your children's lives, even in the midst of your struggles. So, the title of the show is A Father's Journey. And we're going to be talking to Michael Muñiz. A 67-year-old widower, is a devoted father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. He's a poker player and a background actor. Born in Brooklyn, New York, to parents who immigrated in 1951, Michael grew up in a large family. Today, he remains close with his siblings, cherishing the family values instilled in him by his parents. Michael's life has been a testament to the importance of family. He has always prioritized his role as a father, a commitment he considers the most important aspect of his life. Despite the challenges he's faced, including a period of homelessness and addiction, Michael's dedication to his daughter, Michelle, never wavered. Even after his divorce, he remained deeply involved in her upbringing, always ending his advice with the reassuring words, "I will always be in your corner with whatever decision you make." A college graduate, Michael's professional journey began with an 11-year stint on Wall Street. He has held various jobs, from a clothing store salesman, counselor at Phoenix House, and MTA conductor, operator, and dispatcher, until his retirement in 2020. Throughout his diverse career, Michael consistently strived to excel in every role. Sobriety has been a cornerstone of Michael's life for the past 35 years. During his time at Phoenix House, he wrote a heartfelt letter to his daughter explaining his situation, a letter she still cherishes today. Michael's life is rich with accomplishments, including a successful baseball and softball career. After 20 years as a stand-up comedian and a thriving poker career, since 2021, he has also pursued background acting, participating in 175 TV shows, movies, music videos, and other entertainment projects. Fatherhood for Michael is a lifelong journey. It is the most important thing to him, a sentiment he has passed on to his daughter and her children. His story is one of resilience, dedication, and unwavering love. And he is here to share that all with us today. So please help me welcome who I call movie star Mike, Mr. Michael Muñiz.
Wow.
How are you, my friend?
I'm excited. I'm happy. When I got the call yesterday, I just appreciate you.
Aww.
You called me yesterday, and listening to that, I'm like,
Is that me?
I'm almost getting ready to cry because
No.
fatherhood is the title of, it's coming up, and
Yes.
fatherhood to me is like the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
And fatherhood to me is grandfatherhood,
Yes.
unclehood,
Yes.
brotherhood, familyhood.
Yes.
And
Yes.
listening to you talk about your father,
Yeah.
you were telling my father's story.
I know. I mean, it resonates, I'm sure, with so many. So that's what I want to get into because, I read your bio and it kind of sums up everything. It's almost to the point, well, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. But at the same time, I know there's so many nuances to who you are today and how you became this person. So real quick, tell us a little about your upbringing. I know you said you came from a big family. Tell me about that.
Fatherhood is this weekend coming up, Father's Day.
Yes.
My role model and my hero is my father.
Love.
And I carry that with me and carry myself the way I saw him with the family. And I'm so happy. I talked to my daughter in the car a little while ago, and we talked, and she was like, just go ahead, say your story. Don't, look, she's left me with, I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
No matter what you went through in your life or whatever, I'm proud of you. Look at you now.
Yep. Look at you
And
now.
I got 5 brothers. I'm the 6th brother, and my sister Jenny. I got 1, 2, 3 that passed. So it's 4 of us left, the 4 youngest. My mother, my father, they passed, and they came in 1951. And my father passed away when I was just turned 15 years old.
Oh my God.
But in that time, that's why I'm like, my daughter's going to be 40 whatever. I'm not going to say,
Right, yeah.
I'm not going to
Don't
say,
give out
don't worry,
any-
Michelle.
don't give out
I'm not
any
telling.
ages.
But,
That's right.
She's 47 years old, and fatherhood is a lifetime. It's just not like, oh, you were there this moment. You were there at that moment. At that moment, it's a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I really, and I'm enjoying this ride.
I love it.
And my hero, my father, like I said, I picked up stuff from him. I picked up stuff from my brothers, and even my nephews. I'm like,
Wow.
I don't want to say like certain names because I'm like, that's not, it's not my favorite or whatever.
Exactly.
It's
They
like,
all contributed, right?
My family is like, everybody picked up, starting from my parents, and it all carried along.
Wow.
We weren't perfect.
Right.
Like you said, my mother was like, at one time, we called her like a drug, president of the drug sobriety company. Because she had 3 sons in sobriety at one time in different programs. Yeah. And
So that's
and I had another one that graduated, my brother Louis. He was the
Right.
first one that went to it.
Right.
And then he worked for Phoenix House. I went in it. I worked for Phoenix House. And
Oh my God.
there's, it's just like, I'm not gonna say I'm proud that I did.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mention the drug, but
Right.
a certain drug. I'm just happy I did because of where I am today.
Yeah.
It made me the best person I could. If that didn't happen then,
Yeah. It could have eventually happened.
look how it turned out.
Yeah.
My daughter, my 5 grandkids, my 2 great grandkids. My father, I just use little examples. My brother Louis had ran away from home one time. This is the part about fatherhood, which is important. And this is the 70s.
Right.
And I caught my father crying.
Wow.
I never saw him crying in my life.
Wow.
And that really wow. And he's in the 60s and 70s, dads were like the way
Yes.
they were. And mothers, discipline, and I'm glad I grew up when I did. But I saw him crying. I was like, wow. And then one time he came up to me. I had cleaned my room. And he said, I'm proud of you. Just that word right there,
Wow.
I carry that for the rest of my
Forever.
life.
I know you did.
I carry that for the rest of my life.
Well, I want to know. I mean, you just mentioned 3 family members, including yourself, were unfortunately addicted to
Right.
something.
Right.
So, if you had this father that was supportive, that was there, that was a presence in your life, how did that come about? How did you guys go down that road?
All right. Well, my father, Ernesto Muñiz, well known in Brownsville, East New York. He had 2 pool halls. He ran the baseball league for all these years. And I'm not saying that's one of the reasons he wound up passing young, but he put everything into the community.
Right.
And even Willie Randolph played for our league, and he's a Yankee
Wow.
player. So he taught us. He was a perfect role model. But the thing is that we can't blame nobody but ourselves in what we do.
Right.
And me, friends and hanging out, and I'm like an extremist. I go overboard sometimes. I go all into whatever I do.
Right.
So once I started with the little drinking and then the marijuana and moved on, I would always escalate.
Right.
But being that he taught us this, it was still embedded in me.
Right.
So I had my fall. We're not angels. We're not
exactly.
perfect.
We're not.
And thank God that he taught me all this, and my mother and my family members, that at that moment that when I needed it, I got that strength to move on.
Right.
So I up in the self-load, I was on the floor, sleeping in the hall. My brother Louis came over. He's like, I said, give me $20. He's like, no, here's a token. Flipped it to me. And I was like, but he was already through the program. He worked, and he was I was like, wow. I was in the program a few days later.
Wow.
And
so how long did you go through that? How long were you, addicted or under that
I started
influence?
16 with 2 of my sister-in-law's brother, and started over drinking, then marijuana, then this,
then it
then
just
that,
escalated.
escalate, and next thing you know, they call it a functioning addict, which doesn't make sense to me what that means. I never found out, but I thought I could get high and do whatever.
Right.
I wound up going to college. I wound up
Wow. That's
paying-
how you was functioning. You
That-
wasn't in the
I
street.
get
You
in a-
wasn't begging for money. You wasn't
and
robbing
that's the
and
whole thing.
stealing.
I got one brother, Edwin. He's the only one in the family out of all. Even my sister was, we all got high. One brother out of 7 never did a drug.
Wow.
And the thing is that I don't know how, but
Right. Maybe because of watching you
no,
guys.
you know what? That's true too.
You know?
But the thing is that once by the time I turned 32, I lived my life. I was drugging. I was enjoying my life.
Wow.
Even when my daughter was born, my wife got pregnant. My first wife, she got pregnant. I was like, I was still getting high. I was like, I didn't admit that. It's the worst thing in the world. I found out actually when I got into Phoenix House. So, but back to that, the part about my father, he taught me, my mother taught me, but it's like individual decisions.
Right.
So no matter what I did with the drugs, and I always had, as a father,
Right.
she came first.
Okay.
And you got to go save your life for yourself.
Right.
So what I had to do when I went into the program, I had to put her on a shelf.
Wow.
And that's hard for somebody that loves. The most important thing to me, even to this day,
Right.
even my wife that passed away, Vicky, which, wow, she was like my life, and I don't want to start crying, but, and my stepson, I'm going to mention my stepson, Kashara, he's still a big part of my life, but I'm like, I just, see, I was going with the thing, but I just like, went in, I'm going to go back to, I went into the program, I decided to straighten out my life for myself, put her on the shelf.
Right.
And I had to do that because I wanted to leave so bad to go back out there. Even though I was running the streets
Right,
sometimes,
right.
I would still see her a day or two. And so I'm still there
Right.
for her.
Right.
Some people might say, oh, you weren't there all the time, and try to bad rap me, use my past to make me look bad. I use my past to make me look good.
That's right. That's right. It
Because
has.
look at me now.
Look at you
Look at me.
now.
Oh, look at me now.
Oh
35
my
years
God.
of sobriety in October.
I love it. I love it.
So I put on the shelf. I went into the program. I wrote her the letter.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was in the program, the postal inspectors came to arrest me.
Oh my God.
And they were talking about 27 years in prison
For what?
because I was dealing drugs to postal workers.
Were you?
That big 80. Well, when they got me, I said, "That's not me on the."
Of course, you
on the
denied,
tape."
denied.
See, I'm telling my story
Yes.
because I'm gonna get to that. But the reason I'm telling my story, I'm looking into the camera.
Mm-hmm.
All my grandkids know I did drugs. My daughter knows I did drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what makes me, personally, I think, a great man to them.
And mentor.
Because they none of them have touched a drug.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, wow.
No, that's
They
amazing.
drink, they're older.
Obviously,
They're 26,
yeah.
22, 23. They drink, but none of them has touched a drug. And I told
Yeah.
that to my daughter. She's like, yep, none of us did.
I
And,
love
You know,
that.
and it's like I'm the role model.
Yeah.
Even with the things I did that was terrible, that's a role model to them
Yeah.
to show.
What you
I'm
should
not-
not
I don't
do.
wanna get- 'cause I became homeless.
Yeah. Oh my God. So that's what I wanted to ask you too. You know, you had your daughter. You
Right,
were
right.
married.
I was-
were you an addict at that time
Yeah,
as well?
I was a functioning addict.
were a
as they say.
functioning addict,
I was,
okay.
marijuana, cocaine, acid. I was doing it all.
So
and-
what did you think about fatherhood during that time, considering the family that you came from and,
Right,
and the
right.
father and the mom who took over for your father, who took on that role when he passed away?
Right, right,
What
right.
did you think as now you are this father figure, this role model to this little girl? What were your thoughts about
Right.
what that meant then?
She didn't see this.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't want to show it to her, but she lived around it. Like, I would get high in my apartment with my friends. We get high. And then when it's her turn to come stay with me, nobody comes to my house.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and I would never take her around them.
Right, right.
And she grew up when I would take her to my Wall Street softball games and and so I would always have her in my life.
Right.
And I made sure I would get high when
Right.
she sleep.
Wow.
I would get high when she's not there, but never around her. I'm making sure I'm not high when she's around me.
Right, right, right.
But it's like I wanted to be a role model to her the way my father was, because that reinforced in me the strength to become a strong man in life. And I'm proud of my daughter, Michelle. I love you. I'm proud of you because she got pregnant when she was just almost 17.
Oh, wow. Wow.
She graduated with her baby in the carriage.
Oh my God, I love
I'm
that.
like, and that shows that in life, because I talk a lot about my drug life,
Right.
because of where I am today, and it shows that it's an up and down.
Yeah,
Life is up and down.
it
not,
is.
It's not
It
always
is.
a perfect thing. It can't be a perfect thing, or it wouldn't be life.
Exactly.
And that's the most proudest thing I
Oh my
love about
God.
her, that she was there with her. I got stories with
Yeah.
her as a father,
Right.
and she, no matter how old that's still my little girl.
Right, right, right.
So her first one, she was like, "Dad," she called me. I'm pregnant. I was like, all right. She was like scared to tell me.
Right.
But I'm gonna jump back to when, as a kid, I had that 1, 2, 3. I'm like, I'm gonna count up to 3. I never got up to 3. I never hit her.
Right.
I would like raise my
Right.
voice,
But never hit her.
physically hit her, never touched her, never got up to 3. So hopefully that made her a strong woman, which
Right.
she needs to be a strong woman with 5 kids and a
Yes.
husband and
Wow,
and two
Michelle.
grandchildren. And so that was the first one. Dad, I'm pregnant. Then 3 years later, I got married.
Wow.
2000 and 21. So I got married. No, in 20. Yeah. So I got married, and then she says, she comes to the wedding, and she's carrying my granddaughter, Sierra, the oldest one.
Wow.
She's carried her the whole time at the wedding. Didn't tell me she was pregnant.
With another.
I love it. I love telling this story. I love telling the story. And so,
She's still
the thing is
daddy's
that
little
what that shows me is
girl.
that she looks at me as
Yeah.
like,
No,
it
clearly.
means something to her.
No,
that
it clearly
that's my
did.
dad. I got,
Yeah.
like not scared.
Exactly.
Not terrified, but just the respect
Respect
of
of
it.
it. Yeah.
Then
No, I get it.
the third one was like 3 years later. Oh,
my
Dad.
goodness.
She called me.
Guess
Yeah,
what?
I'm pregnant. Then 3 years went by. I'm like, oh, I didn't get a phone call. The next year, I get the phone call.
Well,
But-
look, you mentioned that you also was homeless. So when did
yeah,
that
yeah.
happen? Was that happening in between
All right.
marriages?
So
or?
what happened was this, and then she took a while. I'm gonna jump into my other daughter. She was born. My granddaughter. The last one was born 7 years ago, going on
Right.
8 years. So the thing is this. I'm an extremist. I did my drugs. I was, to me, even when I was doing drugs, I consider myself a great father.
Yeah.
I'm not bragging. I'm not saying it. But you know what? People know me. People
Right.
that play poker with me, people in the background, they know all I do is talk about my family, my daughter, my grandkids. That's all I do. And they know. So, and I'm glad that I could do that because of where I am from where I was.
Right.
But the thing is that, all right, I worked in Wall Street, dealing drugs, got caught selling to the postal workers. I wind up, my company went under. So what I did, I wind up on Pickett and Pine, Norwood and Fulton and Brooklyn, selling drugs over there and this and that. And like I said, I'm an extremist, so I would hang out with the worst people in the Cypress Projects.
Oh, wow.
The worst gang members in the Cypress Projects. I had a gun put to my head, the gun, the trigger,
Oh,
they
my
pulled
goodness.
it and it didn't go off.
Right. Oh my
So
goodness.
this is when I was on that, could I say the name of the drug?
Yeah, of course.
This is when I was on crack.
Right.
Because that was my
That was the
biggest
drugs
down-
of the 80s. So
So I had the gun. I was like, I would lose my mind. So I was like, I was like, next thing you know, I'm like, got arrested. I got let go. I never went to court. Then there was a shooting in Surf Flow. The cops saw me, came. You got any drugs? No. I had a stem in my pocket. I said no. He put his hand in there,
And
burnt
pulled
his
out
hand,
his-
and next thing you know, I'm in the precinct. They see I had a warrant for me, and I go to Rikers for the first time at 32.
Oh my goodness.
I
Gracious.
come out of jail, go hang out on the houses. My mother, my brothers are looking for me because I'm robbing my mother, taking her rent money, selling a microwave Nintendo VCR. And I tell these stories, not I'm saying proudly, but where look at that
Yeah.
and look at this.
Yes.
And me as a father, it's very important that all that had happened to make me a stronger man.
Yes.
Because I don't want her to lead that type of life.
Right.
And it's hard for people not to lead that life.
No, I get
And
I
then,
get it.
so I'm like, wind up in the streets because my mother didn't want to take me back in the house because my brothers are looking for me.
Right.
I'm living in the streets for a good month and a half, 2 months. I'm living on the trains.
Wow.
I'm selling jewelry. I used to wind up finding keys. I had like 3 or 4 sets of car keys. And I
my
was like,
God.
oh, listen, I'll go get your drugs for you. Give me $100. I'll go get it for you. Hold my car keys. And I would run off and never come back.
And never come back.
You know, it's not my car keys. So,
yeah.
But the thing is, I'm home. I'm sleeping on the trains. And the thing about that is, I wind up, my brother threw the thing, I went into the program, stayed in the program 29 months,
Wow.
wind up from a Wall Street college graduate in accounting, working in the Museum of Natural History.
Wow. Wow.
And as a cleaner. And I did that for a few years. Then I went to Phoenix for them.
I love it. So you was like a counselor?
I was a counselor, a junior counselor. First I went as a medical clerk, so I don't let nothing stop me. I went as a
Right.
medical clerk. Then I moved them to a counselor. Somebody said, you can't be a counselor, you gotta be a junior counselor first.
Right.
I said, all right, yeah. Next thing you know,
They
all right.
made you a counselor.
They made me a counselor. Then I went to a senior counselor, and what I did when I got my job for transit, it was like 70 of us took the transit test while in Phoenix House.
Wow.
25 of us got jobs.
I love that. So look at that. Was that and that was the last time? Once you hit Phoenix House at that point, and now you're a counselor. Now you have this good job.
Right.
Now, your daughter has what, 2, 3 kids at this point? Was she?
No, 89. I came out in 92. No, her first kid was 97.
Okay, all right. So she didn't have any kids.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at that time, you were still had daddy's little girl.
Oh, no, yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Okay, so when you became a counselor and now you're embarking on this new journey, what made you decide that it was time for you to quit and to be this real true role model that your daughter needed
All right,
in her
you mean
life?
quit the drugs?
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
I went into Phoenix House with a plan because they would save half your money from the welfare. You would have to have a job. So my plan was this. I'm not lying. My plan was to go in there, stay 2 years, because it's like a 12 to 18 to 24 month program.
Right.
But they kept me 29 months. I'm
Right.
like, I don't regret it. I love it. And my plan was to save all that money, have like $7,000, $8,000, get out and smoke crack the rest of my life.
Oh my God, no way, Mike.
That was my plan because I didn't have it in me. But at 9 months when I got arrested, the postal inspectors came and to arrest me, but they can't step into the program and arrest you.
Wow.
Because it's a government type of
Right.
thing. So we set it up right away for me to go to court. They okayed it. All right, we're not going to arrest them. Go to court. And they were talking about 27 years. I wrote my daughter a letter the night I went to court. I'm in Phoenix House because stories were being told to her. Oh, he's a drug addict. He smoked crack. He's no good. He's the worst father in the world. But even when I was getting high, I was still there for her.
Yeah, I love
I'm not
that.
there 7 days a week because
Yeah.
I had for like when she was like 2 to 3, I was like for 6, 7, 8, 9 months. I was like coming home from work with her.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm
you
gonna
were
say the
still a
situation- I
presence
was like
in her life.
always there with her, and so we close, we bonded, and we would always talk. And so
You wrote this letter.
I wrote the letter, and she was like, I said, look, it's a school of life. I made mistakes. I did drugs. I'm not gonna tell you what it was, and this is what's gonna happen. Tomorrow I might not come back because they're talking about I might go to jail for whatever. But that's something that I did in my life, and I want you to know, you make sure you make your right decision. Learn from my mistakes.
Yes.
And learn from your future mistakes because it's not perfect.
Right.
I made sure she understands life is not perfect.
Right.
Some people are going to think, because then once something happens, they're going to lose their mind.
Yeah. And on top of that you didn't do this, and it was because of her. Like you weren't addicted. You weren't addicted because of her.
Right,
You
no,
weren't
no,
not
no,
showing
right.
up and not being a father figure to her because that, you're this parent now with so many responsibilities. You still wanted to show up for her and show her that you loved her. And I love that.
And what it is, I was talking to her in the car before we came in, and she was like, we talked for like 10 minutes, and she was like, yeah, Dad, I know that it's not your fault that you weren't there at the time, because I wasn't there. I don't think any dad or any mom would be there 100% of the time. There's always, but my situation, I was homeless, I'm in jail, I'm in the program, but when I was in the program, my brother Eddie, he would have my daughter stay with him, so when I do my visits, I would go to him, to his house.
I love that.
And my family supported me.
Right.
And so that she said, Dad, no matter what, I'm the proudest of you. I know I said it a few times already, but it makes me feel so good. I don't do it for the recognition and to hear it. It just makes me feel, and we talk about the future, and I'm not saying what's ever going to happen, but if anything ever happens to me and I move on, she already got all the plans, and she knows that at my funeral, the song that they're going to play is My Way by Elvis Presley. I don't know if you know the song My Way, because I did it my way.
I know the song, but I don't know why I thought it was Frank Sinatra.
No. Everybody says Frank, but I love Elvis Presley.
Okay.
I love Hector Lavoe is my Latin singer.
Right.
Elvis Presley is my
Okay,
number
okay,
one singer.
okay. Oh
But
my
she
God.
already got this. She wrote it. She knows.
I
She
love
knows
that.
my past numbers. She got everything.
So-
she knows where I got my hidden money.
Oh
in
my
the house.
God! Well,
You know,
look, let me keep you here a little longer so I'll find out where that money is.
But my daughter knows. I tell her everything. I don't hold back.
Well,
she don't hold back with me.
Well, I love the fact that you guys have maintained this strong relationship, because a lot of fathers and daughters and sons who've, you know, had relationships that had to deal with what you went through. They're divided, you know, they don't have any love for, they hold them responsible for who they are not because of the fact that you weren't there. So I am so glad that you and your daughter have kept this bond and have grown together, because quite honestly, that's what you're doing. You're growing
beautiful.
together. So let me ask you, what message would you like to share with like the fathers out there that have gone through some of the things that you have gone through to maintain that relationship even in the face of adversity and these challenges and things like that?
First of all, don't ever blame anybody but yourself, and try to hold back as much as you can from letting them, because the role model is important. That's what made me the man I am.
Yeah.
Because when my father passed away in '72, my mother became my father. She was mother father, and she passed away in 21. My wife passed away in 19. And shout out to my I'm talking about my daughter so much, but shout out to my stepson Kashara.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that part, to that you know,
I don't know. Time is winding down,
I know.
so yeah.
All right, but the thing is that always be yourself. Don't be a phony, because your phoniness will come out later on. You know, be as honest as you can be. Hold back somewhat. Be careful with the things you say, and because some of the things you don't want to let them feel like, especially in the moment when they're down and they need you. I'll tell my daughter, I give her advice, I give her this, I say, and then she said, Dad, I'm so proud of, because the last thing you say in a sentence when you give me advice is that I'm always going to be in your corner.
Regardless.
You make the decision.
Yes.
You always say, don't go by what I say. Listen to what I say.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Tell them the things that you need to tell them.
Yes.
For the situation, because we're grown.
Yeah.
We already know. We lived it.
Yeah.
We've gone through it.
Yes.
So we know the things to tell them.
Yes. Yes.
To make them
Yeah.
stronger, because they're gonna move on. They're gonna grow up. No matter how, if they're small like this, they're gonna get big.
Wow.
Even when they're big, they're gonna move. And now she got the kids, and her kids got kids, and it carries on.
I love that. Let's show a few pictures of your
all
beautiful
right. So
family. But in
hopefully
the
that
middle of
answers.
that, I also want to talk, because I understand that you got married again to
Right.
Vicky.
Vicky is her
Yes.
name.
And so you were also a stepfather, a role model to her son. So considering that we are talking about Father's Day, tell me a little about that love,
all right.
because I can tell that you love that woman. So when did she come
you're
into
gonna
your
make me
life
cry.
real quick? And yes, before the
Let me
time
tell you,
starts winding down, tell us about that love.
I got 3 dates in my life, 3 important dates. December 16th, 1980, my daughter was born. October 6th, 1989, when I entered Phoenix House.
Oh, wow.
And November 21st, 1995, when I met Vicky.
Oh.
Those 3, and I said it at her funeral, at the wake, those 3 dates mean everything to me. And my stepson Kashara, I'm not saying it through me, but when he got married, me and Vicky were at the wedding, and he turns to me and says, and my dad.
Wow.
Now, he was already like past his in his
Right.
teens already.
Right.
Late teens. But I was still there for him.
Right.
So no matter how, it don't have to be a little kid.
Yeah.
You're still a father.
Yes.
And I feel like that's my son.
Yeah.
I say stepson because that's the title, but that's my son. But
Yeah.
when he said that, and he said it more than one time, and I got close to a lot of his friends, and it meant, I missed the pictures.
Yeah,
But,
I didn't see the pictures.
yeah,
They didn't
but,
put the pictures up. Can you please show us a little few pictures of his beautiful family? Thank you.
So
good.
yeah, Kashara means the world to me too. His wife Bree, my daughter-in-law,
Yeah.
his family, his grandmother's still alive, and his uncles and all that. That's my family.
Wow.
You know.
I love it. Those are your grandkids there,
Those are
right?
my grandkids and the 2 great grandkids, the little ones.
I love it.
But even with my family, my nieces, my nephews, I'm like with Polka, we got a text, like 18 of us. I think they get tired of me sometimes because I be texting, even with my background, I be putting everything down. I'm like, I'm happy. I'm enjoy my life with me. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Enjoy the Mike Muñiz ride. That's my wife next to me there.
I love
That's
it.
my father and mother with the baseball kids and my sister.
I love
That was
it.
You know, that's me on the corner there.
Oh my
And,
God. So
it's
let me ask you, in terms of, your sobriety of 35 years,
Right.
Are you really thoroughly enjoying it?
Uh,
Do you miss anything about those days?
Let me,
Those
perfect question.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to lie, and I tell people they don't understand. I say today, I wish I could smoke crack.
Really?
I swear, I'm not like one of those guys. Oh, I don't even go to AANA no
Right,
more.
right.
My life is AANA.
Right.
My past, I rewind my tapes to remember.
Yes.
So I can move on to my future.
Right,
And my
right.
present.
Right.
I take everything. I'm not saying I don't need it,
Mm-hmm.
but my sobriety is like very important to me.
Right.
That keeps me going. That's
Yes.
like I don't want to lose it, but crack was good to me. I like the way it tastes. I like but I know where it took me.
Yeah.
I know where it's gonna take me.
Yeah.
So that's why you gotta be strong.
Yes.
You gotta be strong. Any moment.
So every day it's a battle.
Every day is a battle. But
Every day.
I used to, when I first started in sobriety, I would walk on eggshells. Oh, I don't want to get high today. Oh, what am I gonna do? Now I'm like, it just comes natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
you wake up
I'm
and
like,
I don't want it
I'm
anymore.
not even, but I proudly announce it.
Yeah.
I tell people, yeah, I did drugs, I smoked crack. I'm like, and my daughter's like, tell her dad.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I want to say is this. See the way I talk? When I met you, which I'm glad I'm glad, LaShawn,
me
I met you and your
too.
girlfriend, the girlfriend that was there, and Sheffick, and it was at Broadway.
Yes, at Times Square when we
We
did
were at
your
Times Square. They
yes,
showed the thing there. yeah.
Yes, we revealed your
And it was like we
billboard.
were like friends right away.
Yes, yes.
And it was like, I'm old, so I'll be forgetting stuff. But it was,
You ain't that old, my friend.
but it was like,
No, but
my
it was
life,
amazing.
I'm like, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It
Meeting
used to be like
people.
this. My grandkids were small, and my daughter, it would be like this. We would go to a restaurant, and it's like we take over the restaurant.
Wow.
I'm like loud,
Yeah.
not disrespectful, but like even the waiters be having a good time with us, and we're like partying. Everybody's
Yes,
looking.
'cause your
And my
energy.
grandkids would be like, "Grandpa,
No.
slow it down."
Your energy is
now I say to
infectious.
my grandkids, I say, listen, y'all not. They said, no, we're not embarrassed. You be you.
Yep, that's right.
You be you, because I
That's
do
right.
like 7 times a year, Christmas for sure, Thanksgiving. I go to Maryland. I drive to Maryland, go have lunch, and when I have lunch, we go to the restaurant. My daughter, my grandkids, boyfriends, no girlfriends yet. I haven't met a girlfriend yet for my grandsons, but that's
But
good.
that's good. That's coming.
Then
That's
college,
coming.
I got one kid that hopefully makes it to the majors in baseball, and that's my dream come true.
Right.
So, but I'm proud of each and every one of them.
I love it.
And they're proud of me because they say it. They tell me.
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, you're the best grandpa in the world." I'm not saying it
love it.
to brag, but they even my her side of the family, her in-law George, my son-in-law, his side of the family, there's certain people in his family, I'm like, when I see them, I'm like, I turn into a kid and they turn into a kid. We're like having a great time. Bobby, my man Bobby, and Angie, and the family members on that side. I'm like, I love them all, but there's certain few that are like, they're there. I'm like,
yes.
I ain't letting go, but
I
I
love
love
it.
every one of them. But I
You're
love
just
it.
enjoying
I'm in love
life right
and
now.
that
And your
my
experience.
fatherhood comes from that.
Yeah.
I'm like, enjoy. And then when the bad times come and I got to be serious, I get serious. I got one granddaughter. I'm not going to say the name. She knows who she is. We got a record of 35, 40, 50 minutes talking.
Wow.
My other grandkids could talk 5 minutes.
Right.
Me and her, we talk more than I talk with my daughter.
I love it.
So that's still part of fatherhood.
Right, exactly.
But,
No, that's important though.
yeah.
So your role right now, considering that your kids, your daughter is grown, and you're molding
She's
these
growing.
grandkids.
She's still a baby.
Yes,
All right.
she's growing.
All right,
Michelle is
yeah.
still growing.
Michelle's still growing.
But these young minds that you have now, that you're helping her nurture. How important is it that you not only teach them and tell them the truth of who you are, but the direction in which they need to avoid in order to arrive at the point that you are now without having to deal with the bumps and bruises.
Right. There's always going to be bumps and bruises, and they know that because they've gone through their own, my grandkids. And they talk to me about I got a family text with my main family, cousin, nephews, nieces, brothers, and then I got my grandkids group text, and they'd be like, they tell me each individual one knows that I don't say what we talk about, but each one of them is an individual, and I treat them like that.
Right.
I treat them like that,
Right.
and which is what I like, and I know who they are.
Right.
I know certain things. I know who's the smartest one. I know who's the most athletic. I'm like, and it's like I gave him whatever. My daughter gave him whatever. George, my son-in-law gave him whatever. Their side of the family, so they take it all. And I'm glad that I see that mentally they're able to put it all together.
Yeah, I
put it
love
all
that.
together. Because in Phoenix House, and I tell them, it's about mentality, attitude, and behavior.
Yeah.
If you're in control of those three things,
Yeah. Then
you should be able to deal with just about anything.
I love
Death
that.
comes. I've dealt with my sisters and brothers and my mother, my father, and niece, but you know what? And hardship comes, and I owed the IRS at one time $37,000, and I had to pay some of it off, and then it just wiped out. And now I'm like, I got money in the bank.
Yeah.
I got.
Oh my
And the thing
God,
is that
you're living your best life right now.
wherever I
Mike.
do with my family, all right, we still got a few
love
minutes.
it.
Whatever I do with my family, and my daughter, and they love this. Christmas, I go. I call it the Mike Muñiz lottery.
Okay.
I've been doing this since 2000. So we're going on 24 years. And I started at the house. Wherever I go, it's Christmas or Thanksgiving, or even in the, my granddaughter just graduated.
Wow.
With a master's. So I'm proud of each and every one of them
Yeah.
in their individual, things that they have done,
Endeavors,
endeavors, and which makes me even proud of my daughter.
Yeah.
Because she got something from me to be able to raise them
Yeah.
like that.
Well, you know what I want to tell you? I'm proud of you. I am happy that you were able to see that there is better for your life, and that you are able to be part of these amazing moments in your grandchildren and your daughter's life, because it could have went totally left, my friend. For a person who can admit that every day you will have the desire, to sort of step back into your past, and the fact that you fight that every single day, and that you're still present in your family's life, and you're showing them the amazing that you've become. Because we're going to talk real quick before the time runs out about what you've been doing lately. But I just want to tell you that I'm proud of you. Hearing your story and hearing the strength that you needed in order to get to this point, and the fact that you still had the support of family members that love you and believe in you, I think is remarkable.
Thank you.
So I wish you nothing but the best. Your fatherhood is evident, my friend.
Hopefully I gave enough fatherhood information.
Yes, you did. Let me tell you what this man is doing, my friends. This man has now turned his life into a background actor, which pretty soon you're going to be more than just a background actor. But every time I see Mr. Movie Star Mike, he's on the set of some movie, some commercial, some video, music video. So I want you to tell me real quick before we do run out of time, how did you get involved in being a background actor?
Here's the deal. I'm going to try to do it real quick because it's a big part of my life now.
It's a huge part of your life.
When I was the 80s into the 90s, into the early 2000s, I did stand-up comedy.
Okay.
And I was kind of good, though. I was very good, man. I was great. But
were you high?
I was high, but I was great. But the thing is that I would be on, all over stand-up, comedy club, this and that, and I would get nice gigs. And Ken Black, my friend Kenneth Powell, became a comedian.
Okay.
We got I'm not going to even go through all the names. I'll just mention Ken and Miles Green, and there's other comedians that we wound up doing it around the same time. I did it for 20-something years. When I was in Phoenix House in 1989, my sister had got a letter from David Letterman.
Oh, wow.
They wanted me on the show.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the program. And I was like,
As a comedian, he wanted you on the show.
he wanted me to do a little, like 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
I'm not leaving the program. I'm not this and that. And I'm not upset. My sister held back on that.
Right.
Because she knows the importance of me getting my sobriety.
Right,
So I didn't
right.
need that one little moment.
Yeah.
Because I probably would have,
Yeah.
took
You
off.
would've
And I would
definitely
and
went
then
to
I
the
would have
depths
been
of
like,
hell.
forget it, downhill.
Yeah.
And but she did the right decision for me.
Right.
And but at least I know that I could have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't regret that.
Right.
I don't regret it.
Right.
I'm not going to take no regrets in life because it's meant to be. It's meant to
Exactly.
be.
That's right.
And I tell my daughter that as a father, I give this information and she takes it and she applies it in the way she has to.
She needs to,
Which is
yeah.
my fatherhood to her.
Right.
So I did that. Next thing you know, I'm watching TV and I see my man, Ken Powell is his real name, Ken Black, and I'm like, oh, yo, get out of here. He was on TV.
Wow.
He's sitting in a restaurant and it was, I think it was Power Book 2 or something, or Power Book, the first part. And he's sitting in a restaurant. I'm like, so I call him up, yo, what's up with that? I got him into comedy on a $5 bet, Ken of I know, and I finally paid him.
Wow.
I paid him like 6 months ago. It took me like,
I hope with interest.
it took me like no, I gave him quarters and nickels and dimes. He was performing, and a bunch of us, of my peers from Phoenix House, went to watch him perform.
Right, right.
And he was like, he mentioned me that I was a part of him, and he's still he's
Wow.
thriving,
Right.
doing good. And so I went and he got me up on stage, and I gave him
The $5.
the $5
That is
20 years
so
later.
funny.
So I'm like, so he said, yeah, do this. And I got the casting companies and I started applying. I got New Amsterdam in 2020 and I got Power Book 2.
Wow.
And then my wife got sick. In 2019 I got it. And I was doing, and she got sick. She passed away in 19 and I stopped poker. I stopped acting. COVID hit. And it's like, it was like the worst.
Yeah.
You know, I had lost my father. I lost my brothers. I lost my sister. But then when she passed, it was like, wow.
Wow.
And my cousin Josephine, I love you, Josie. She says, she couldn't believe. She looks at me now. She's like, I'm proud of
I
you.
am so
And she
proud.
knows how I am with my daughter. She
Yeah.
knows what it means to me. And she was like, I thought you were gone. We lost you.
Wow. Wow.
But then I was like, I had my sobriety, so it got me strong enough to get past it. And eventually I got back into the poker, I got back into the acting. Now 170 something,
Yeah,
later,
75.
music video.
Movie
And
videos,
I wound up getting lucky.
commercials.
Lil Mabu's a rapper. He hired me as his cop whenever he does music videos.
Yes.
I've worked with a lot of movie stars.
Yes,
I got
yes.
speaking parts coming up, and I can mention Evil Lives Here. Look for it soon. I got a speaking part where I play the main character that gets killed, but I can't
Yes.
say the
Yeah.
title. But I'm loving
it.
I'm loving it. And
I love
background
seeing
light-
you in
and I
it.
throw it out there. I put everything out there.
Yes.
I'm like, I take pictures. I just did a commercial yesterday. I did a commercial last week. I did a Evil Lives Here Again. I did a few TV shows. And this is just in the last month and a half. I
Yes,
did
it's like every day
I'm
you're on the set somewhere.
retired,
you just was
so-
with Spike Lee. We had a picture
Oh,
of
they had-
that.
they showed it? Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah,
had a
Spike-
picture with my man Tony Danza.
Tony Danza.
I love him.
I had
Wasn't you with
Ice-T.
De Niro recently
Yeah,
too?
Robert De
Yes,
Niro. And I was
yes.
scared to actually approach him because he's like serious. So I said, Mr. De Niro, I love the way you did what you did today.
I
And he
love
stopped
it.
and looked at me like that taxi driver looked. And I was like, oh, I messed up. He's gonna, but we already stopped filming.
Right.
So that's when I talked to him.
Right.
And he looked at me, he said, thank you. And he shook my hand.
Wow.
The one selfie, I'm gonna do it real quick, Queen Latifah.
Wow.
Miss Queen Latifah, could I take a picture with you? She's like, sure. She got 2 bodyguards.
Wow.
They're like, all right, hurry up. So I go like this and we smile and I click it. 10. I had it on a timer.
Oh, my
9.
God.
The
And they
bodyguard
pulled
pulled
her
me.
away.
So I got the story. I don't got a selfie,
Yeah,
but I
but
got
at
a Queen
least your
Latifah.
story.
Queen Latifah, if you watch this, maybe I could get one.
Yep, I
You
know that's right.
LaShawn,
Well, I'm telling you.
all right, go ahead, because I
You
wanted to.
are truly amazing, and yes, I want you to share with us real quick because time is winding down. We literally have like maybe another 5. Tell me what is on your heart. What is the last thing you want to leave us with?
All right. I mentioned before regret. I gotta mention this. When I got married, it was so hectic. The one regret, and I apologize to the most important person in the world, and I've apologized to her so much. She didn't get into the picture. We were moving around so much. The photographers were like rushing everybody. Next thing you know, they're taking the picture, like the family.
Wow.
And she's standing there with my I'm like, the photographer didn't want to do it again.
Wow.
So I'm like, that's my one regret in life. I don't have any other regret. Doing drugs, no regret, because look at me now.
Yeah.
Background life is keeping me going.
I love it.
I'm like 67 years old.
I love it.
But when we were kids, even when you were a kid, you probably look at somebody when they were 35, 40 saying, damn, they're old.
Yeah.
I'm 67. I don't
And you're
feel,
young.
my back
Yeah,
might hurt,
nope,
my
you
knee.
are still
But
young,
I'm like,
my friend.
And then even on the thing that whoever's watching and they know me, I carry myself the way I am. And people tell me, like my man Andre Reese, and I got good friends, Mike Cruz and
love it.
Eduardo, Mark Drayton Stone, Mimsy, Pringle. I got a lot of friends in the background life, and they say, yo, when you're around, which is, this is the life I'm leading now,
Yeah.
and it makes me great,
Yeah.
feel good, because even the production assistants and the
right.
assistant directors, they get involved in the way I am.
Because your
and they're
energy
like, and
Yes.
all of a sudden it's a loose set, and it's
Your
like,
energy
it's
is infectious, Mike. But we
it's
gotta
like-
go
all
right
right,
now,
go ahead, go
yes,
ahead.
because time is winding down. But again, I want to thank you so much for being here. And you're gonna have to come back because there's clearly more for you
I
to
would
tell.
love to.
So we're gonna show you your picture real quick and tell you where you can follow my man, movie star Mike, on Instagram at Muñiz Firebird and on Facebook at Michael Muñiz. So please follow him because every day this man is doing something fabulous. I want to thank you so much for coming here and talking to us about how it is so important to be there for your children, regardless of what you're going through. Fatherhood is so important, and I know it means the world to you. So I am so glad that you
sure.
made it through all of the challenges that you did in order to be this amazing man that is before us right now, my friend. And I'm telling you, follow him because you will see exactly what he's doing. So thank you so much.
Oh, wait,
Mike.
my daughter.
I appreciate it.
Could I
She's
answer
on?
it?
No, let's
No.
just wait 1 second.
Oh, Michelle, I'll call you back. I'll call
right.
you back, Michelle.
So I want to get real quick to the Dare to Be You.
Wow, that was perfect timing.
And the Dare to Be You is, fatherhood is a journey marked by sleepless nights, boundless love, struggles, endless sacrifice, and unspoken fears. Yet, it is the unwavering love and joy that light the path, making every challenge worthwhile. It's in the quiet moments and shared laughter where we find the true essence of being a dad, molding lives and nurturing dreams with strength and tender care. So fathers, embrace the journey of fatherhood with courage and commitment. Cherish every moment, rise to every challenge, and lead with love and integrity. Your presence shapes lives, your actions inspire growth, and your sacrifices build a brighter future. Step up, be present, and make every day count. So I'd like to thank you again, Michael, for
thank
being
you.
here. This has
Oh,
been
man.
amazing.
I loved it.
I want to
I
thank
loved
you
it.
guys for tuning in to another episode of Our Unity. Please remember that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. So I want you to go out there and be some love, give some love, and just share some love. I love you so much. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, I want you to have a wonderful night, and we'll see you again. Have a good one. Thank you so
right.
much, Mike.
Bye-bye, thank
Wait, we're
you.
supposed to
I
do
love
this.
it, I love it.